Hi, Info 285. Welcome to my research project proposal presentation, the San Francisco Public Library and Information Literacy. Following the election of 2016, the proliferation of misinformation has grown to be a serious topic of concern for the media-consuming public. Libraries are in a position to assist in the amelioration of the fake news phenomenon through a number of avenues, one of which includes information literacy programming. The topic that this study will examine is that of staff perception of information literacy outreach programming directed by the San Francisco Public Library, focused on assisting library patrons in discerning misinformation from respectable sources and materials in the current socio-political landscape. While there have been studies focusing on IL-centered anti-fake news efforts in the academic library environment, the public sector has yet to draw as much scrutiny, providing an opportunity for further research. The study of the SFPL will investigate types of programming offered, interactions with the public, staff perception of the success of such programming, and insights into possible future programming. SFPL's main branch currently features a physical location dedicated to the literacy and learning of its patrons in the Bridge Center. However, this dedicated resource is most convenient for patrons of that adjacent community. As the SFPL features 28 branches, this study will be assistive in determining the success and demand for information literacy education across the spectrum of San Francisco communities and geographically dispersed patrons, including and beyond those serviced by programming at the main branch. The Internet easily enables users across the political spectrum in the spread of information of varying degrees of truth. In light of the surge in how social media has been utilized as a potent informational sharing tool, the dangerous possibility of being misled and the need for media users to be able to contextualize the media they engage with has never been more urgent. Many media consumers are ill-equipped to discern reliable sources juxtaposed against a deluge of fake news, and inadvertently or maliciously, they assist in the dissemination of that misinformation to the information communities to which they belong. This brings us to our research question. How have information literacy efforts been enacted in the San Francisco Public Library system in the present context of misinformation and fake news? Sub-question, how have librarians perceived the reception of said efforts on the SFPL community? In Information Literacy in a Fake False News World, an overview of the characteristics of fake news and its historical development, Watson offers historical background for misinformation, as well as a description of fake news in the present, namely deliberately and strategically constructed lies that are presented as news articles and are intended to mislead the public. Niedringhaus draws attention to the consequences of misinformation, noting a growing distrust of vaccines and pushback by the current U.S. administration on measures regarding the dangers of climate change. They optimistically highlight the library's position for intervention, noting a 2016 Pew Research Center report citing 78% of American adults believe that libraries will help them find information that is trustworthy and reliable. Osborne's Programming to Promote Informational Literacy in the Era of Fake News outlines 5 educational obstacles in the way of patrons' information literacy. An attention deficit as to the need for information literacy, an awareness deficit of the need to read sources critically, confirmation bias or the filter bubble, an increased complexity of the delivery system for fake news, and web and social media influence on available information and the lack of fact-checking intermediaries for those sources. Madison and Gersh used text mining and browsing to examine 8 Ohio libraries' use of passive information literacy-based materials, such as web-based library guides, noting 132 guides over 6 library sites, and the broad participation of libraries in IL-based patron assistance. LaPierre and Kitsy's study explored 65 public library systems' support of adult media literacy through programming and initiatives such as partnering with outside agencies, such as educational, media, and journalism organizations, noting issues of maximizing offerings while accounting for overextended staff. Additionally, they note considerations as to how library staff are responsible for influencing the types of IL initiatives undertaken. This proposal entails an exploratory and evaluative 15-question survey examining the creation and enactment of educational programming targeted toward misinformation in modern media, or fake news, and improvement of patron information literacy skills in 28 branches of the San Francisco Public Library System. The study will gather quantitative and qualitative data indicating library resource use and librarian and staff participation in and perception of the effectiveness of SFPL's outreach programming. Variables include librarian staff age, level of education, technology experience and access, varieties of programming, library location and budget. Concepts include educational programming, misinformation, fake news, media literacy skills. Some units of study include San Francisco Public Libraries that have offered or are developing information literacy programming, librarians and library staff involved in such programming, articles of the relevant literature, past studies of analogous information literacy outreach efforts, and SFPL collected data on past SFPL information literacy initiatives. Some operational definitions include librarians and staff, programming, misinformation, and information literacy skills. The primary study population will be constituted by librarians and paraprofessional staff involved in the design, creation, and presentation of information literacy programming in the SFPL. The San Francisco Public Library serves a widely recognized metropolitan area that is physically adjacent to tech and social media outlets instrumental in the distribution of media and problematic misinformation. The city displays a startling gap between affluence and poverty, with its library patron constituency presenting a worthwhile opportunity to explore the effects of this social and economic dichotomy on library resource use and availability. An invitation to participate in a descriptive, evaluative, exploratory survey regarding the process of creation and perception of success of IL outreach programming in the SFPL will be distributed to a sample of librarians and support staff through SFPL institutional email. First to 3 to 5 branches and a pilot test attempting to identify any issues of bias in the phrasing of the survey that may influence participants. Following the pilot test, reception of feedback, and potential adjustments of survey content, surveys will be distributed to librarians and support staff of all 28 SFPL branches via email and SurveyMonkey. A follow-up email checking in on non-respondents will be sent out after 1 month. Individuals' names and branch location names will not be used in the study to assist in participant confidentiality. As there are notable political implications involved with terms such as fake news, a pilot test will be conducted to determine potential issues of bias in the phrasing of survey questions. Data analysis will be conducted by researchers not involved in the initial drafting of the survey. Participants will be made aware of the parameters for confidentiality, the results of the study, as well as how long the study will retain their answers and how they will be used and stored. While surveys are convenient for the participant, there is no guarantee that all who are involved will submit their answer set. A low response rate is a possibility. Researchers may consider the incentive of a $3 to $5 gift card at a convenient retailer for participants who have completed their surveys. Another limitation is the lack of direct response from library users engaging in IL programming. Once existing IL programming data across the SFPL is sufficiently tabulated, a future study may expand to approach library users who have made use of IL-related resources and their satisfaction with those resources. The purpose of this study is to take stock of SFPL's outreach resources that contribute to information literacy for a constituency that may be underserved and underprepared to navigate misleading elements in modern media. Once the breadth of qualifying programming is identified, perceptions of staff, and ideally in a future expansion of the study, patron participants, can be used toward locating areas of potential improvement and growth in the direction of future initiatives and use of library resources. When well considered in policy and action, Libraries offer their patrons a portal for self-improvement, continuing education, and quality informational access. As the trustworthiness of media sharing grows murkier and not all citizens share the same social and economic means to acquire practical information literacy skills to assist in their understanding of the media sphere, the library is in a strong position to offer guidance. Insights into how the SFPL distributes IL resources to its varying branches will be of interest to similarly architectured library systems in the future of informational exchange.